welcome back again from Kissimmee, Florida. Today I've got a review of the 2018 leg cramp Star Venture. This is the big boy. This is the new Yamaha flagship, and we've got keyless start. I heard a click. Turn it on and started. All right. Just a little teeny bit of shake to let you know it's running. Big car light gauges. Now, I have been warned that this course is on the short side and there's lots of lights. So, I can't tell if my radio's on. Somebody's blaring. Is that me? Shut up. There it is. Haha. I will not be able to get very much high-speed experience on this course. There is going to be another demo ride coming in Tampa shortly. Whew, tell you what, this thing has some weight at low speed. It is chunky. Combined with these beach-like bars. Quite a heavy weight. Thought there was a heel shifter. Nope, there isn't. Alright, I'm going to have to get used to these controls here real quick. Very interesting. Now, my reviews are not just going over the facts and figures. My reviews are about how does it feel to ride the bike. I want to give you guys the experience of what it's like. First of all, not exactly comfortable. I'm very shocked. The seating position is low, but my legs are spread apart right on a seam on this tank. There's no pocket for my legs. It's got floorboards, but it's a rounded tank. There's nothing for my legs to cup, and it's metal. Kind of shocked there. I was expecting it to be scalloped out a little bit more. I would not want this kind of pressure on my legs over a long distance. You have to kind of sit like a man, you know, and just spread them and let them hang to be comfortable. So I guess that's what I'll have to do here. Quite wallowy. It feels light on its feet. That's very surprising. It doesn't feel like a Goldwing or even a Road Glide. At speed, it feels lighter than it is. I'm not going to say it feels like a small bike, but it does tip really easily. But man, okay. Low speed is very strange. Much like the Road Glide, it's a combination of it being very top heavy. You have this huge wide dashboard, a 6.5 gallon tank, just like the FJR. I'm used to that kind of top heavy, but not quite the width. And I can't see the ground. I don't know what you guys can see on camera, but I can barely see the license plate in front of me. I can't see about 7 or 8 feet of road in front of the bike. Not loving that feeling, have to say. Neutral's very easy to find. The grips are chunky. They are rubber and slightly larger, typical for cruisers. Very strange bars to me. They are super swept back. It accommodates the riding position very well, but it's very strange to steer the bike. You end up swinging your arms. Because they are so swept back, they're acting like big levers. Lean in is very good. I do like that. It doesn't have nearly as much torque as I was expecting for a huge engine. It's smooth. It feels like a flat torque curve, but it just kind of peters out at the top end there. I'm waiting for hopefully a spot here in the ride to give it some gas. So far this is all but useless, but I can at least tell you about the riding position and everything. The seat is very supportive. It's wrapped around my butt like a catcher's mitt, but it's small. It is surprisingly narrow. It's cupping me all around. It's on the firm side. I don't have any pressure points. A lot of heat coming off this thing, and I was warned about that also. Today it's, well, it was 96 degrees when I pulled in on my bike. I don't know what it is here. But this is an air-cooled V-twin. And tell you what, this is not a great combination for a hot Florida humid day. My leg is already cooking, especially the left one. The tank is hot, my thighs are hot, and I've been on the bike for 5 minutes. Whew. Yeah, I'm definitely not an air-cooled fan. My last one was a Harley, and well, that'll be the last one I ever buy. Looking at the dash, it's very nice. Very clear display, high res, I don't see any pixels. Gauges are very nice, very car-like. Got a big speedo on the left, tach on the right, fuel gauge. I mean, it literally looks like any modern car. Normal dashboard. I heard somebody pulling in with the radio blaring, and it's loud. It is plenty loud. We have an electric windscreen. There's all the way down. There's up and back. Not too much movement. Not even half as much as you get on the FJR for comparison. Not that I'm comparing this to the FJR, but feature-wise, this bike took a lot of features from other modern bikes, including the FJR. This is designed to be their new touring king. The sound is okay, nothing impressive. Doesn't really have a thump at all. It's just like a, well, a loud lawnmower, really. It doesn't sound growly, it doesn't sound visceral. It doesn't rev all that fast. That's full throttle. Redline is at, oh, just over 4,500, so very low revving engine. But it does seem to have a flat power curve. I don't feel it totally running out of power. Some bikes, you may as well not go above 2,500, 3,000 because it just runs out of power. I'll take this one up here. It's very strange because you can't hear the RPM differences. It really sounds the same between 2 and 4. Okay, the Rev Limiter cuts in very harshly at 4.5. Even though the gauge says 4 3/4, it cuts off like a switch at 4.5. So there's really not much point in running this thing through the gears. This is a gear it down and lug it kind of bike. Here we're in top gear, 6th gear, 40 miles an hour, 1,300 RPM. And it goes. It doesn't care. It's not lugging it. Downshifting is very smooth. The clutch pull isn't especially light. I've definitely had heavier clutches, but it's not an easy modern-like clutch pull. I will say that. Whew, just sitting here. My leg is just on fire. It is just pouring off heat. It's ridiculous. It's a very smooth takeoff, although you can't feel the clutch engagement at all. There's probably so much torque it doesn't really matter. This is full throttle. So, not a fast bike by any stretch of the imagination. This is all it's got, man. I doubt this could even keep up with an FZ07. I'm not kidding. I was really expecting a monster powerhouse bike. They're older bikes, like the Striker I reviewed a couple years ago. Way faster. Much more power. I have no idea why this engine had to be so darn big to make this little power. I can't believe it. You know, I've seen a lot of promo videos and company reviews and that kind of thing, extolling the virtues of this. I was really expecting a fantastic bike. So far, I'm not feeling it. I'm not meaning to give this a bad review, but for $25,000+, you have certain expectations. The gear indicator is unfortunately run off the input shaft, so it does disappear with the clutch in or between gears. Can't stand that, which is very strange because Yamaha was really good about doing it off the output shaft, like the FJR and the Super Tenere, so it's always there for you. Gauges are very easy to read, I'll give them that. You have a trip counter, you've got a throttle mode. I'm in the touring mode. Let me switch that. Now I'm in sport. We'll see if that improves anything. I doubt it will. Usually with Yamaha at least, the difference between touring and sport is just the roll-on rate. It doesn't change the power output. So it's good for riding two up. It prevents turtle kisses. That's when your wife hits the back of your helmet with her helmet. But it just slows the roll-on of the throttle in touring mode, where sport mode is just linear. It's just like a normal throttle. Nothing sporty about it. It should just be called normal. No, I don't feel any difference. This is right in the sweet spot. Full throttle. Just hits the red line. Let's go down to fifth. We're not going to get any space here. This is really a terrible area to do any kind of ride. Just too busy, too urban. But we'll make the best of it. I want to see if I can feel any difference in the windscreen position. See, this is why the gear position indicator sucks when they put it on this shaft. Here I have the clutch in, coming down to speed. You have no idea what gear you're in. There's no indication at all because the transmission isn't engaged. So you don't know where you are to go find neutral. You might accidentally go down into first and not mean to. That's the whole point of a gear indicator, is to help you out. The floorboards are comfy. I'm actually glad it doesn't have a heel-toe shifter. I prefer the normal pegs. They are floating, big rubber padded floorboards. There's no vibration on the bike at all. You don't even know it's running, seriously. Nothing through the handlebars, nothing through the frame, nothing through your feet. The only thing I see moving is the tip of the windscreen. I don't know if you can see it. That's it. Whew. These cooling fans are just blowing the hottest air you can imagine, like a hairdryer. I'm not kidding, onto my legs. It's coming up my legs into my helmet. Oh, it just smells like hot exhaust. So we've got a couple accessory, couple accessory bins down here. Got some wind deflectors here. I'm going to kick those in. Hopefully that'll help a little bit. Oh man, I'll tell you what, you want to shift before 4,000 because it cuts off so abruptly at that rev limiter. It's real jerky. Now, suspension wise, really comfy actually. We're going over some big potholes and manhole covers here, and it's like riding on a couch, like floating on a cloud. I can tell it is big cushy shocks and springs and big cushy tires, because it feels like you're just riding on a Cadillac, feels like a Goldwing, feels like a road glide. That's to be expected from a cruiser, at least of this size and caliber, made for 2-up long distance. But still feels good, although a little cramped, still a little cramped. I would definitely be putting a different seat on here. No self-canceling turn signals. It handles very nice at low speed as long as you're going straight. But as soon as you start to turn, you really feel the top heaviness. I was taking off in second, wanted to see if it would complain, and it feels exactly like first. So it does have a lot of low-end torque, no doubt about that. So over here you've got your cruise control, set and resume, starter hazard, drive modes. This is your electric reverse. Obviously, I'm not going to go into that right now, but it has a separate electric motor. It doesn't use the starter like the older Goldwings do. It's a completely separate unit. There's a lever down there that you engage, and then you can control. It also creeps forward. And it's needed because it's like a 950-pound bike. It's ridiculously heavy. These control your screen options, or it's a touch screen if you want to reach up to it. There's your brights. There's your volume control. It does have locking bags and gas cap electronically. I like that. I wish I had that on my bike. I put the hazards on somehow. How did I do that? That was weird. I don't remember hitting that. Oh man. The tank is so hot on my right leg I can't touch it. It feels like an exhaust pipe. That was just from 3 minutes of sitting at a light. So there you go. Obviously not the best course. I do want to ride this again at higher speeds without all the stop and go. This is about the worst environment you ever want to take this kind of bike on. But it at least shows you what it does in this environment. Definitely not a city-friendly or really heat-friendly bike. And that's something I like to know if I'm buying something, that's for sure. I did have a lot of different expectations from this. That's my big takeaway from riding it. And it goes to show you have to ride a bike before you buy it. You can be so surprised, good and bad, going from a paper spec to a bike. So thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.